Welcome back, man. We are back, episode 4. 4 for 4. 4 for 4 out the door, right? We back for the Moving on Purpose podcast. It's your boy Cooley.
B.Stu.
And we are happy to be back, all right? This is the podcast where we peel back the layers, manhood, marriage, fatherhood, and law enforcement, okay? We real talk, real life, unfiltered, funny. We like to have a good time on this show, so we appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, get in the comments, let us know some more things that you'd like us to talk about. And as we continue this season and we get into the next season, we're going to start interviewing folks. So if you're interested in coming on, please hit us as well. And make sure y'all are tapping in with us, man.
Hey, man, we appreciate the support. So what we talking about today, man? I know you always got some good topics for us. So what we got?
Our own shift work struggles.
Oh, man.
Shift work struggles. Now, to kind of break that down for you, we both work in law enforcement, right? Yeah. He's been in law enforcement 30 minutes. I've been in law enforcement.
About 35 now, man. Give me some credit, man. 35, man.
You right.
Hey, give me some.
You right. And I've been on 14 years. And
damn.
When I started.
My bad. I had to, man. I had to. My fault.
So when you first start off, man, you're either gonna go to evening shift or night shift, and your off days are gonna be what's available. So you might get Tuesday, Friday off. No, you ain't gonna get Friday. You might get Monday, Thursday off, or Monday, Tuesday. No, they ain't gonna give you 2 days in a row at least.
Maybe.
Right.
Let me explain the two shifts though. So you got evening shift, which is typically 2 to 10 or 3 to 11.
Yep.
That takes up your whole day.
All day.
So, in my opinion, that's the worst shift to get.
That's a single man shift. Yeah.
But if you're a family man or if you got things going on, it's the worst shift to have. And you got your night shift, which is 10 to 6 a.m. or 11 to 7 a.m.
Okay.
So that's evening and that's night. So I just want to break that down for people that
you gotta let the people know. Everybody don't know, right?
Yeah.
So you are currently on
night shift. So I'm night shift right now, and the struggles for night shift, man. It's vampire hours is what we call it. But
so whether you have ever seen a possum fight a cat at 3 a.m. or you've gone to the wrong taco truck and you end up eating something that made you think about your life and how you was gonna make it through the rest of your 8-hour shift, this show is for you. Okay? So like I said, man, I've been there in my mid-20s, 24, 25, coming out the academy. And I did that for a while, and then I went back as a sergeant when I promoted. And the reason I went back is because, like we talk about, balance.
Yeah.
If you work that evening shift, you're not going to be available for your family. You're going to miss school functions. You're going to, miss games, sports, activities. Exactly, extracurricular activities. So it's either day shift or night shift. You're not going to get days when you first get out the academy.
Absolutely not.
So nights is the family man shift. And there's some struggles that come with that, and we'll get into that. But let's get into some funny stories about things that have happened on night shift. Do you have any yet? Like you said, 35, 36 minutes you've been on nights. What you have anything you want to share with the people?
We round up, so we're going to say about 40 minutes.
We have 40 now.
We have 40
Damn,
minutes,
we
man.
only and the same show we didn't went from 35 to 40. Ain't that
hey,
something?
Man, you got to, round up is what I was taught.
Bad.
But,
my fault.
Yeah, I mean, those vampire hours and those late nights, you get, especially downtown, you get a lot of people, EDOs and CIT.
Okay.
So
EDO. For our, we'll have that go across screen. Emergency detention order. So you have somebody that's having a mental health episode. They're in crisis, and they need to be taken to the hospital and put in front of a professional and possibly held for 48 hours until it's been determined that they're safe to get back on the street.
We get them help instead of taking them to jail where they won't get any help.
That's what the EDO is. He talking cop lingo, like we got people know.
I've been on 40 minutes, I'm fresh out. That's all I know is the term.
Let them make it.
But you just deal with the CITs and the people in manic states, and they're just doing all type of stuff, whether they criminal trespassing, running in and out of the street. Luckily I haven't gone across anybody off of drugs yet, had to arrest anybody that was naked or anything like that off PCP.
You keep on living.
Knock on wood. I don't want to keep living for that situation.
Wood. It's not even real wood. Keep on living.
It don't matter. I don't want that situation.
That is not
See
wood. See
how
you
trying to wish that upon me?
I'm not wishing it on you.
I know you got some stories.
I just want to cater your expectations, brother, because it's coming.
Man, listen. Listen,
So speaking
I'm
of
calling
stories,
for a check by, but we're gonna go with your stories.
speaking of stories, story time. All right. So which one you want first? Do you want the PCP story or do you want the
I want
funny
the PC.
story?
No, I want the PCP
Okay.
story. I want
So
the
the
good stuff.
PCP. So you can, if my old partner watches this, he can get in the comment. He'll vouch for me. All right. So we're on night shift. We're on the southwest side. We over off of Glenmont, and we running calls. It's quiet night. And we get ready, we press arrive, we pull up to this call. It's like a report call. We're getting ready to go check it out. All we hear is an officer get on and say he needs an assist. What that means is, hey, I'm on the radio. I need backup. Something going down.
Get there
quick. So we immediately, hey, show us en route. We right around the corner. The way we used to have our setup, because you got to ride with somebody that polices the same, and we had our little setup.
Right.
He would drive. I was the jump out boy. I rode in the passenger seat.
You want the action?
I'm in the passenger seat. Listen, like I was young, and so he pulls around the corner, and it was like a movie. This dude was like 400 pounds, and he's walking through the median, I think of Gulfton, and he had two officers on his arm. Two officers on both arms, and an officer on each leg, and he's just dragging them. Walking like something out of a movie. If you seen The Last of Us, the big one that was full of mushrooms, that's what it looked like. And he was on that wet. Okay, for wet, it's PCP, angel dust, Sherm, embalming fluid. Don't understand why people do it. If you YouTube it, everybody not having a good time. So why are you dipping that in there and smoking it? I never understood that, but I digress. So we pull up, and I'm like, all right, man, let me out. I jump out, I run, take his legs off from under him. It took all of us, 8 of us, to get his hands behind his back. And when they're on PCP,
they're any pain.
And like it was
did
literally.
Did y'all get him when he was on a high, or did y'all catch him?
No,
when
he
was on that low?
he was out. He was on a high. He was so high he was dragging grown men, and so his eyes were bloodshot red, and he was like foaming at the mouth.
Oh yeah, nah.
like he had rabies, right? So once we get him in handcuffs, he comes down. We get him in the bag. We have HFD come check him out, make sure he's good before we transport him. And the reason that the dude called for an assist, he over there running traffic by himself on night shift. And when he pulled up to the car, he walked up to the door. Hey man, I need your license registration. Dude get out the car, slap fire out of him. Slapped the fire out of him, taste out his mouth.
Assault on the officer.
Yeah, and a big 400-pound dude, man. So he out there by himself, and that's when he called for an assist. So long story short, man, we end up transporting the cat, and he just up and down, up and down. Yeah. We got him booked in, didn't have any incidents out of him. That was my first time seeing somebody at the high. I had seen people low, and hurry up and get the handcuffs on them before they go high.
Yeah.
But superhuman strength, they do not get tired. It does not matter how small or how big they are. They're equally as strong. And if you by yourself, it is a very, very dangerous situation. So he did the right thing, prior to the side.
Right.
He caught you slipping. He slapped the gum out your mouth. We passed that, right?
Right.
But you got to ask for help in those situations, man. That was night shift.
I mean, that's the danger on running traffic at night too. You just never know what you're gonna expect. That's a whole different conversation. But
it is. Listen. Not me, not I, said the cat. So a funny one. So you work downtown, right?
Yeah.
So like you said, he deals with a lot of mental health issues, a lot of accidents, drunk driving, stuff like that. That's and it's funny how as you go around the city, the calls change. We on that Southwest, right? And so we had a variety of things. Well, where we worked at, it was a smaller station, but there was proximity was the issue. So it was a high call volume because you had so many apartment complexes stacked on top of each other.
Okay.
So you got 300-400 units here, right next to 600 units, right next to 1,000 units. Yeah. The volume is high because you got all those people living on top of each other, right? Yeah. So another thing you have to deal with is on night shift, things that you normally have as resources and support, they close.
Yeah.
Them people closed.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we needed was animal control.
Oh, yeah.
So around 2:00, animal control, sometimes earlier, is closed. So you get those vicious animal calls. And we had a vicious animal call. And it was a first-story apartment. I remember like it was nothing. I had a rookie ride with me. My partner was off at the time. He just getting out there. He all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. He like, all right, man, what we going to do? And if he watching it, he know he'll vouch for this as well. Right. So, all right, man, we going to go check out this vicious animal call. He was like, we get those? I was like, yeah, man, they call us. Like, we got doggone Steve Irvin or what is it? Crocodile hunting out here, right? So, the way it was, first story, the patio. Mm-hmm. Patio was tall. You couldn't see over it. It was closed. When you go inside, all you had was a sliding glass door, and they had plants hanging down from the ceiling. Okay. Right? And they had plants on the ground. Well, in one of the plants that was hanging from the ceiling was a bird nest. Okay. Because, birds come in there and they do it. Inside the bird nest were eggs. Inside the bird nest was something that liked eggs. What happened was a snake had came down from the roof and slithered and coiled up inside that bird nest. And they call us, right? So all they gave us. You
don't look like you like snakes.
I don't do snakes, bro. Yeah. At all. Listen, I'm 6'4", and I'm about 250, and I do a lot. Snakes is not one of them. Right. If I see them, they gotta die because I feel like it's either they gonna get me or I'm gonna get them. Right. But you gotta pay attention to where you at in your surroundings. I'm gonna get to that. So we get there and they're like, all right, well we have a poker for the fireplace. We have some tongs for the fireplace, and we have some hedge clippers. I like, give me the hedge clippers. I'm going to get it, and I'm going to cut it in half, right? So they get ready to get it, and they were going to pull it out, and I was going to cut it, and then whenever I see everybody standing there with their cell phones. I say, oh, y'all trying to put me on the news. Yeah. You ain't finna have Peter looking for me, right? So I said, I'll put the hedge clippers down. I say, so this was the plan that they came up with. I said, all right, we're going to get a water cooler. We put sodas in. We're going to hold it up under there. We're going to grab a snake. We're going to pull it down, put it in there, close it, put a rock on it until in the morning.
It didn't work that way.
So this is what happened. I got my SL20, which is the big flashlight, the big black one. I said, well, that sounds a great idea. I think that y'all should do that. I'm going to do a very important part in this whole plan. Y'all do that. I'm going to make sure that y'all are illuminated. I'm going to hold my flashlight and I'm going to hold the door because I got to make sure that it don't get out and get somebody else. So I'm holding the flashlight. They get the snake. They pull it out. And it just kept on uncoiling. And as they get ready to put it in the cooler, it pulls away and hits the ground. Now, in my mind, the snake is out, right? So I threw my flashlight down, and I took off running because I had to go out and make sure that everybody knew that it wasn't safe. And in my mind, the snake had already went on my leg. I felt it. You know how you feel like that on the back of your neck? That's what I felt. So I run up out of there, and I find out shortly after that they actually did get it in the cooler and they had a rock on it.
So it never hit the ground.
It didn't hit the ground, but my imagination took over.
You went back and checked your body cam.
I went, but we didn't have body cams back then. That's how old I am.
Damn.
Right?
That's too damn much soap.
Thank God, because then they would have saw me running up out of there. Now, two things. I didn't scream, right? And like I said, I was running and checking for safety to make sure nobody else got attacked by the snake.
That's the story you want to rock with. Okay.
The other thing, I broke my flashlight.
That rookie that was there with him, we need you to call in and do something. We need to know.
Get in the comments, man. Tell them. So I broke my flashlight, man. I had to replace my flashlight. They still laugh at me to this day. But, man, those are some of the things that you can't avoid on night shift. You're not going to have those resources. Your best friend is going to be HFD. Your best friend is going to be NPC. Your best friend is going to be Denny's.
Let's talk about translate. That. Yeah.
Let's move on to the food options
at night.
Limited.
None.
Limited.
Taco trucks, whatever trucks are available. Denny's, IHOP, if it's in your area.
Yeah.
So downtown doesn't have anything.
After the club food.
Yeah. But as an officer, you're not about to go to the club and go get you a 10-piece, wings because you might arm you something. So you got to play it safe. So,
you should. I didn't. I ain't trial and error, man. I ate a 4 for $4. I had chicken nuggets. Yeah. I had a double meat burger from Wendy's. I had a Frosty and some fries.
Oh, you was eating good on night shit.
After we get into a chase.
Yeah.
DWI, dude didn't want to stop. He get out and run, and I'm chasing him, and that 4 for $4 was on my ass. It was coming up, and I chasing him around the building, and he over there looking for somewhere to go. I say, listen, man, I'm about to throw up. It's just me and you back here. Ain't no cameras. You hear all them sirens. You might want to turn around, put your hands behind your back, because it's not going to end well for you if you don't. Yeah. He ends up doing that. We catch him. He ends up throwing up. I held my own. Right. But I never ate that heavy ever again.
You playing with, like, the options that you have.
You playing with fire.
Because you never know what the next call is going to be. So you go ahead and eat crazy if you want to, but like you said, you might have to hop out, chase somebody, or you might have to go chase somebody that's evading in the vehicle. Now you over there going around. Now you feel like you're in a roller coaster.
Absolutely.
So
I got sensitive stomach, man. I got weak guts. So pause. But I gotta watch what I put in my body in the 8-hour shift because I don't want it to cause me problems
later on.
Yeah. And for all y'all that don't know, that gun belt is like, once you have everything, your aspartame, your flashlight, all that, it's about 50 pounds.
Yeah.
And
that's why people don't understand when they see officers chasing somebody that's evading on foot, and they're like, oh, that officer's slow. No, they got a weight vest on.
Weight vest on and a vest.
Yeah, and they, to a disadvantage, you chase somebody with nothing on. So they lighter and they're faster.
Yep.
So for those who getting caught.
You still get hawked.
You still get hawked.
I still was hawking boys down.
Yeah, so. But
listen. You got to take that belt off. You got 4 keepers on. Clip. And you got to take that thing off. And then it's just between you and there sweating. So you got to watch what you eat.
Yeah.
And I know on our side, all we had was like Denny's, gas stations, Jack in the Box, like all that fast food, man. And we always talk about the importance of like taking pride in your health and like staying on top of that. Find that balance of working out.
Night shift is hard. They preach that stuff coming out the academy, take your health serious, continue to work out because you never know. But when you work night shift and there's nothing available for you, like you said, gas stations, fast food, you can only meal prep for so long because now let's go into being sleep deprived.
It does.
It's naturally your body wants to be sleep.
Meal prepping is important though.
Night shift.
Meal prepping is a cheat code, I believe. Like you like to cook, man. If you can meal prep and have your stuff already in a lunch kit, it's gonna limit. For one, you might get stuck on a special assignment. You can't go get. Might get stuck on a call, a DOA, something where you can't leave the rest of the shift. Yeah. So if you already have your food there, you might not be able to warm it up all the time. But it's better than nothing. So I learned that I used to have snacks with me.
For me, what I do is I'll eat before my shift. I don't like eating late, so I don't want to eat during those times where the food stick on you unhealthily. Yeah, so I try to eat. Around 7 or 8. Okay. And then when I'm on shift, I just hydrate. For the most part. Pretty much, I just hydrate. Might get coffee, a lot of water or whatnot, but I try to avoid eating unhealthy on that shift because it adds up.
It's easy.
Yeah, it's like
it's so easy.
It's like I'll just do it for a week or two. Now, week or two turns into a couple months, and then you don't even recognize yourself. Gun belt don't fit.
That freshman 15.
Your vest don't fit. Like now you're uncomfortable.
It'll come quick on you, bro.
Yeah. So.
And I remember going to the gas station, man. It's like 1 cookie turned into 2 cookies. 2 cookies 2 cookies turned into a hot dog. Yeah. Hot dog turned into a tornado. For y'all don't know what a tornado is, it's like a taquito / egg roll. And I knew we needed to vacate the premises and stop hanging around. There's one officer, my partner tell you, he took a tornado, put it in a hot dog bun, and put the
come on, man.
This is if I'm lying, I'm dying. He put the hot dog condiments on it and ate that boy. I tried it once. So not gonna lie, it was
double
good.
Carbs on top. Yeah, man.
Listen to me.
I ain't gonna lie. Tried it once. You will never catch me trying that tornado in the hot dog, but it's out. We're not doing it.
I tried it. It was off the bucket list.
That's wild right there.
I did. And
night shift have you doing crazy things.
It will, because you don't have it. And listen, them white chocolate macadamia in there cookies had a hole on me, brother. I had to get away from them. I had to stop going in that Valero over there off of South Rice because they were so good and they knew. So you just got, like you said, meal prepping is the cheat code. Yeah. Eating early is the cheat code. Fasting. Mm-hmm. Staying hydrated is very important because when you're on night shift, man, it'll trick you. It'll make you feel like, oh man, I'm not in the sun. I'm not sweating. That humidity.
Some of them shops, the AC don't work. It's already high.
Before you know it, you'll be dehydrated, man.
Yeah.
You'll be dehydrated. Mm-hmm. So talk about the sleep patterns. Talk about how fun that is when your internal clock is out of whack. And
first of all, it's not fun. That's not the word. I don't know why he described it. It's not fun. It's hard to figure out the balance. Naturally, you want to be asleep during those times, but unfortunately, when you're at the bottom, like he says, 10 minutes on, you got to start with the night shift. So getting off work and trying to figure out how to go to sleep when the sun is up is a challenge. What I do is I get off work, I try to go work out right after work so I can kind of wear myself down. Depending on how the family is at home, do what the family needs, and then try to go to sleep. Yeah. Some days are better than others where you just have that energy and you just like, my body cannot shut down.
Yeah.
And then you have the other ones where you had a heavy workload and you just mentally and physically tired from being at work, and you can crash right away. So it's hard to get that consistent balance of sleep.
Yeah, and you always feel tired.
You always feel tired.
Always, no matter how much sleep you get, your body's not meant to sleep. Yeah.
And then when you talk about those off days, when you have your off days, now your body's confused because it's like, now I'm not going into work tonight. Should I go to sleep and on a regular schedule, or should I just stay up all night? Well, so it's like,
so my trick with that would be I wouldn't stay up all night, but I would at least stay up until like 3.
Push it a little bit later.
2 o'clock at the earliest. I'll push it to 3 just so that I'm not completely off of it.
Yeah,
but I'm still getting more sleep to try and recharge.
Yeah.
Exactly, and I'll tell y'all right now, night shift in my 20s hit different than night shift in my 30s. Night shift in my 20s, I was just in that thing with some water, some Gatorade. I was good, wide awake.
Yeah.
My 30s, man, I got introduced to these things called energy drinks. Because I'm not a big, like I said, coffee had me run to the bathroom.
Tell it again. How much caffeine do you see officers on overnight?
Some of them be over. Man, I'm like, bro, are you okay?
Energy, 3-4 like energy drinks.
It tell you on the can you ain't supposed to drink more than one.
Yeah.
And they down in 2 Monsters, 2 Red Bulls.
And they moving fast on scenes.
Hard, fighting for his life.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, like, yo, man. I always did one. Like, it was like, and then I don't like feeling like I'm dependent on stuff. Yeah. So when it felt like it was one a shift, I was looking forward to the taste of it. I was like, nah, I gotta do it, go on a hiatus.
Yeah. That's why I prefer coffee because it's natural. I drink it black. But sometimes you might have to go because some of these places, coffee is terrible.
Yeah,
like it's just you.
It's
like,
been there since the morning before.
Yeah, so you like, man, and they don't want to make any fresh coffee. They like, oh well. So you like, energy drink it is. What aisle it's on? So
yeah, Stu gonna be that bougie officer that got a Keurig in his car.
Right.
Once he get a little time on, he get a better car with some AC that work.
And once I
gonna have the little plug, the little adapter.
Yep. I'm like, who need it? They gonna be pulling up. Let me get it. What you need? 6 or 8?
And some cinnamon. Yeah, nah, man.
And man, you got to find a way.
It do.
You know, you got to find a way, man. Talk about the challenges of just staying awake too. When it's slow. How did you find yourself kind of staying awake on the shift?
Man, I got to get up, move around. So like, I've never been able to fall asleep in that shop.
Yeah.
In the police car.
It's uncomfortable.
It's super uncomfortable for me. And then 1, it's uncomfortable. 2, I ain't got no leg room. And 3, I always felt like the night I fall asleep is the night I'm gonna wake up and somebody gonna be pointing a gun at me, or somebody gonna be then took a picture or video on me and send it to Channel 13. Look at this officer asleep on the, you know what I mean? Yeah. So no matter how deep my hole was, where I felt like I was safe, I always kind of had that anxiety that kept me awake.
Yeah.
But when I start feeling like them yawns will start getting the best of me,
gotta move around.
I will move around, and my go-to will be sunflower seeds. That's my trick. But you have to limit those because of the sodium. So when I felt like it was really on me, for whatever reason, sunflower seeds. I do this when I take road trips too. I keep a bag of seeds and a bottle, and it's just something about. Once I start working those seeds, man, it just keeps me, and I don't yawn anymore, and I'm like locked in. I don't recommend going and trying to watch your videos and check up on your emails. Do that at the beginning of the shift.
Yeah. Because
on the slow night around like 4, 3:30, that's when you.
Yeah. Your head get heavy, eyelids get tough. It's a challenge, man. I mean, but you got to pay your dues and you got to go through it. I don't know how some people stay on it for their whole career.
I don't
like
man.
It's different.
It's hard on your body.
Yeah.
It's hard on your body. And so some kind of things that I would recommend for those people that are out there on those shifts is melatonin when you get home. Okay,
the natural.
So the natural melatonin. Melatonin sometimes, like, you got to find the right balance in what your tolerance is. It'll have you feeling a little bit more sluggish, especially if you don't get it. So my wife put me on. She's really good with the vitamins. Magnesium.
Okay.
So magnesium, you can get it on Amazon or Vitamin Shop or whatever. 500 milligrams. You take 1, bro, and I tell you, it's good for inflammation. It's good for that REM sleep. Okay. You wake up like refreshed.
I'm about to be on Amazon putting that stuff in my cart when we finish recording.
My wife, I'm on that magnesium every night, especially when I'm working out. You know what I mean? I know I don't wake up sore. Okay. I don't wake up fatigued. But you can't take it too late. So like, if you know you got stuff to do throughout the day and you only gonna get about 4, 4.5 hours, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you know you're gonna get you a good 5-6 hours of sleep,
Go ahead and take it.
let that magnesium bless you.
All right, bet.
For sure. Yeah, so man, just kind of to wrap things up, one of the things we haven't talked about is how this shift working night shift affects your relationships.
Everything, man.
Your marriage,
Woo.
your friends,
Woo.
how you parent, how irritable you are because you're not getting enough sleep, and you're tired. That's a real thing. That's a real thing. So when I was on nights, man, it does make you more available to make those school functions for your kids and things like that. But then when the holidays roll around, well, you ain't going to see them because you're going to work. But when you start getting those holidays off, when you got a little bit of time on, you're like, all right, y'all, and everybody drinking, having a good time.
Gotta go to work.
Gotta go to work. You got your uniform in the closet. You know what I mean? You gotta change. Man, you gotta leave. Yeah, man, I gotta go. You know what I mean? So it just becomes inconvenient.
Yeah.
But you get used to it, and before you know it, those years pass by, and you can end up moving shifts or whatever. But that's definitely a real thing. Like those family functions, you're gonna miss a lot of them. Yeah. Those opportunities to go to the game and do this and do that
stuff. Yeah.
You're gonna miss it. But like you said, you got to pay your dues.
Small sacrifice
For a larger, come up. But it's real. It's real. How have you seen? Well, you probably haven't seen it yet, but how have you seen kind of a challenge with the energy that you have and you having to catch yourself when you might be a little bit more irritable with your wife and with your kids and, the noises and being overstimulated?
I just take my time, man. Everything's about patience with everything, but I've noticed I had to have a lot more patience before I respond and react. It's just take a step to think about it. Like, hey, let me just take some time and just be like, all right, let me handle this way. I know I might be irritated, but I don't want to come off that way to wife, friends, kids, or anything like that. Yeah. So just thinking about it before I approach it. Okay. I think that helps me with that method and stuff like that. And then just not being easily irritated naturally helps me out. Some things I just let go. Just like, we're going to let that slide. We'll talk about it later. If I remember,
over here. Okay.
Hey, if I remember it, we get to it later. So, I'm already trying to battle a lot with not getting sleep and different stuff like that on this shift. So I'm not going to just have more problems pile up. I'm not going to take things as serious, and I'll get to it when I get to it.
And I feel like communicating is important. Like, communicate with your spouse, man, and let them know, hey, I'm tired. Like, I was good the first 3 days, but this fourth day is catching up.
Because they know you, so.
They do, but sometimes they can get caught up in what needs to be done.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely, like you said, you got to – hey, wait a minute. Let's not plan everything on my off day. Let's see how I feel before we approach it.
Exactly.
And
but you got
10 things to do. Let's do 3.
You got to
work with it because, I need to get some type of sleep.
A lot of times, man, we like, man, I'm good.
Shit,
man,
I'm honest.
It's okay to not
listen
be
to my body.
It's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to communicate with your people and be like, listen. This is the 4th day of this night shift stuff, and it's catching up with me, man.
With me. My favorite thing is work with me. Let's compromise. Work with me, please. We a team. I'm not the best when I don't get my sleep. Let me get a couple hours, and we're going to revisit this plan, conversation. Whatever we have to do, just work with me.
This man coming in his 30s, you got all the wisdom and stuff. My 20s, boy, I was working EJs, working night shift, waking up. I had to learn the hard way, but that's good, man. That patience is gonna take you a long way. Yeah, and that communication is definitely gonna help you. So,
I think I got a good mentor. You've been able to give me information and what to avoid. Yeah. So I listen. I don't need to figure out the hard way.
I appreciate
I'm past that aspect of life where it's like, man, he don't know what he's talking about. Let me just figure it out. And I was like, man, you was right, bro. That shit, you're not wrong. Like, man. I'm whooped. So now I'm at the time where I approach things differently. And, those extra jobs or burning out or working extra shifts for other people, I don't necessarily need that. Like, I can find the time and I can find the finances in doing other things. Yeah. And that's just where I put my time at.
For sure, man. That's good. Share that knowledge. And like I said, I'm always of the mindset, if I walked out here and there was a hole I stepped in and rolled my ankle, if I can tell you how to avoid it, go around it, you can pass that down and pay it forward to the next person. That's what it's all about.
And I appreciate you for that.
Yeah, for sure,
I got to give you my thanks and my appreciation for allowing me not to make certain mistakes and things like that while I try to navigate at the beginning of my career so I can have longevity moving forward.
And you the type of dude that's humble. Like, man, I owe you. I say, hey, man, you don't owe me nothing. All I ask is that you pay it forward to the next person. When you come across somebody who coming on, you got a couple years under your belt, and they remind you of yourself yourself and how you was trying to figure stuff out, just share that knowledge with them. Share that knowledge with them. That's all. That's what it's all about, right? Mm-hmm. So we appreciate y'all, man. I think we're going to wrap it up. That was a good episode.
Yep.
Had some good stories.
Good insight.
Good insight. Like we said, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, share the word, share the link, get people tapped in, man, because we're going to continue to bring y'all some real talk about some real topics.
Week to week.
Week to week, man. So we're looking forward to coming back for episode 5.
Yep. Comment, send us some things that you want to hear us to talk about, discuss, give us some insight.
Absolutely. As we always say, man, stay in your lane, run your race at your pace, and we guarantee when you look up, you're going to be moving on purpose.
Yes, sir. Till the next time.